The future is upon us and time is running out.
Imagine we're standing on the edge of the universe. And we're all lined up there. And there's Elon and Jeff and Sarah, who are believers in this frontier. And ahead of us lies this amazing, undiscovered country of the universe.
Hi, I'm Sarah. I've explored remote parts of the world living with indigenous tribes and survived dangerous places undercover to capture their stories, to create impact.
Now behind me you'll see remnants of their civilization. Okay, let's go.
But now, my dream is to fly sustainable aircrafts.
EASA and the CAA have made it very clear that they are going to allow vertical takeoff and landing aircraft to now fly.
And to explore space.
You may become an astronaut one of these days in the not too distant future as well.
That coming from you has just made my Christmas.
So I started Spaced Out during the pandemic to learn more about the space industry. What are the things that you think are most essential for people to think about and invest in?
Many answers that we already get from that help us here in our daily lives sometimes have an origin from space.
And after just 2 seasons, this is what I learnt.
Do you think space is more accessible to people of all backgrounds?
Not yet. I hope that'll change.
I studied Earth observation data to learn just how the effects of climate change was deteriorating our planet.
If a current event happened today, it would fry pretty much anything electronic.
We're about to hit the 1.5 degree increase. It really starts to push us in a bad place.
This needs to be mainstream news. This needs to be in the forefront of people's consciousness. Why hasn't anyone figured that out yet?
The more we come up with trustworthy, uncertainty characterized, validated measurements in the climate change initiative, the more we have a sort of physical base to say, look, it is changing and this is what we're measuring.
Hence the urgency to become a spacefaring civilization.
A plan to potentially send super small spacecraft, literally the size of a postage stamp, on laser propelled solar sails to Alpha Centauri.
Even like
Yes. Yeah.
We need to get to Mars and colonize the red planet fast.
90 times our own pressure. It's really crushing. It has an abundance of greenhouse gases. What's happening on Venus can happen on Earth.
Rovers from several nations are on there right now, searching for signs of life.
It was a blue planet like the Earth is today. We can get indications from the rock record Mars had past life.
No one knows what that could mean.
We haven't even been contacted by alien life yet, is that we haven't made the transition to some part of evolution that they consider like a capstone for us to have to rise above so that we can actually join them.
Boom! Oh, wow. Declassified. This is the analysis and the assessment of the gateway process, which was used during the Stargate program to train remote viewers for Russian intelligence purposes.
Scientists, engineers and entrepreneurs are working on it too.
What studies have you undertaken with astronauts on long-term space missions to understand the unexpected ways that the human body changes in microgravity?
So that's the million-dollar question, right? Obviously, the whole reason we go to the moon and Mars, we're planning this stuff, is to send humans. We have had about 20 years of research on the International Space Station where we've been able to look at what we call adaptations.
But the next frontier will be the moon. What would the society on a moon look like?
We have an architecture working group which is looking at how possible infrastructure on the moon will look in 2045.
Many nations have their rovers on there.
Have you managed to capture any of these structures that you can maybe show us? No, it's
This was captured off the surface at a crater. Okay, can you see it?
Yes.
But we need to make sure that a war doesn't break out.
War on the moon because of valuable resources.
We can't afford to fight in space the way we do on Earth.
If we could work together, I really feel that humanity could grow.
To create the future of humanity in the universe.
But what skill would that person require for their role to be sustainable in space?
First permanent job in space. And that person has to be the butler, the plumber, the electrician, the chef, the exercise coach, the tour guide. They're going to have to be everything.
Making science fiction a reality.
When you go back, these are the rules. Okay, there's a press the delete button, erase, you come back.
Like Men in Black.
It's all real.
Noticed silver shimmery particles in my hands. I thought, well, okay, so what is this? Same elements that can be found in stars. And then I developed healing powers. I felt electricity burst out of my hands.
By engaging people of all backgrounds and young people in STEM careers, they will become our leaders when the time comes.
They were doing black magic and having rituals, and in the daytime they were developing the first generation of rockets in the US. Eventually he founded his magical lab, the JPL.
If an asteroid hits the Earth and wipes out humanity, will you only care then?
How can we get people to transition to the new type of fuel?
Give them something that makes business sense. Show them that there's a propellant that's just as good but is less toxic.
The future needs us to unite and work together.
What was it like being on the International Space Station and working with people of various backgrounds?
It's wonderful. You bring together the best and brightest minds to do scientific research for the betterment of humanity.
It's the only way. What can people do upon receiving this message?
The very few people who have those connections and are listening and this is making sense to them, they are going to be the ones who then take this information and will be sat at a meeting table. It could be with Elon Musk. At the right time, this information will be required for them to then develop the right tools to save humanity.
The strategy, the plan, the blueprint. Stay tuned for season 3 of Spaced Out.